All right, here we go with another good Spink, as they call it, Spinks TV. All right, check this one out, though. Know how y'all think on this one? This unfortunate thing we deal with out here in this world and everything. So we're gonna title this one "Stop Being a Racist." That's simple. Stop being a racist, because sometimes things a person may say may come out in such an ugly, racist type of rhetoric out of your mouth, and you don't even realize it.
Or do.
Something you may
Your
do.
actions, yeah.
And you too stubborn to realize the bigotry that is coming out of your mouth or your body language. And as always, I love to give y'all a word of the day. So the word of the day is going to be that, bigotry. Now, if you look up the word bigotry, to shorten it up, because there's so many definitions, but it simply means prejudice. Or another way, it would say the stubborn intolerance of a person's opinion or prejudice against someone else. A stubborn ass person where it's like you so stuck on your stubborn ways and you so intolerant, and with your opinion, you think your opinion is factual with your prejudiced ways. That's bigotry. You know what I'm saying? And you got all kind of bigotry. Watch this. We're gonna give you a bunch of scenarios of stop being a racist, because we've seen these people, right?
Yes, or stories. There's I would have to say
But the Asian
I
one,
will be kind of part of that story.
we all made mistakes.
Yeah,
I think
but
I know
it was something that it was
innocent,
harmless. Yeah,
but you
it
didn't realize it came out of your mouth, and you like, wow. For example, I'm gonna give you one, and you can piggyback. For example, I remember many years ago while I was at my job, right? While we was working on the line, working and stuff, right? It was the dude. Now, I don't normally say silly stuff like this. Oh, I got a white friend, I got a black friend, I got a Spanish. That's so silly when people say that nonsense. It's almost like you're telling who you really are. But in this case, let me paint the picture for you, right? So I'm at work, and we all working amongst each other as we always do, black, white, Spanish, and all this, right? We had an Asian supervisor, very rare, but we had an Asian supervisor. His name was Kim, right? And the dude that I'm working next to, Lou, this guy, he's a white guy, I'm black, Elvis head, Spanish, this and that. It was very diverse, right? We had one Asian supervisor. So on this particular day, the dude Lou, they always, this dude always come to work drunk, and you could smell it on him. You could see his red skin. Not that that's the point, but he would say some of the most ridiculous things come out of his mouth. And sometimes bigotry things. Remember, word of the day, bigotry, meaning the stubborn intolerance of or opinion of a prejudiced person towards someone else. And sometimes Lou, because I don't know, it's because of his drunken state or whatever, he would let bigotry, stupid stuff come out of his mouth. And on this particular day, he comes to work. It's the middle of January. So let's say no, it ain't the middle of January. It's like the end of January, right? It's like January 26th, right? He comes to work all jolly like he normally do on that juice, whatever, right? Always getting away with the nonsense. But anyway, this day, as he comes to get by his truck, the Asian supervisor, who named Kim, he walks by, and Lou yells out in front of everybody. He said, "Hey, Kim! Hey, Kim!" Remember, it's like January 25th. He go, "Hey, Kim! Hey, man, Happy New Year to you! Happy Chinese New Year!" So Kim just looks at him like,
what the heck?
and walks off from her, right? So now he's like, "Hey, man, what's the problem? What's Kim's problem? Man, I just said Happy New Year. It's a Chinese New Year. I didn't know. I looked it up. It's the Chinese New Year. He should be happy. I'm just saying Happy New Year." So we kept doing our work. Next, Kim walked by again, and now Lou got loud. He said, "Hey, man, what's your problem, man? I was just wishing you a Happy New Year. It's the Chinese New Year." And then Kim said, pardon my language, he said these exact words. He said, "Because I'm not fucking Chinese, you stupid ass." He said, I'm Japanese. How dare you call me Chinese? See, that's the problem with you stupid people. And we all cracked up laughing, because it was a bigotry thing that came out of Lou's mouth. How you gonna just assume that this man? He said, "Well, I didn't know. I thought you was Chinese." He said, "That's your problem. You just assume everybody's Chinese." And man, we was cracking up, because it was a silly thing that he said. But once again, bigotry. Stubborn intolerance of an opinion or prejudice towards someone else. Get your facts right before you say something that is bigotry, prejudice, or silly. and then you regret it. It could even be offensive, but you think you're not.
Exactly.
And I know that touches on the story you was getting ready to say.
Yeah, when I was young and ignorant, because ignorant is that you do not know.
It doesn't mean stupid. Check out video out. It's called just that, ignorant.
Yeah. And then nobody ever sat with me and talked to me about, the difference about how can you be offensive with people. But anyway, I was young, and I was always actually going to do my nails in where I used to live, the nail salons. And in most salons,
a lot of
you think that most of them is Chinese. I thought that they were all Chinese.
So you was about to make the same mistake that Lou made.
Yes. But there was one thing that was itching me for a long time, and ever since I was young, how these, I don't know if Chinese, but let's just say Asian people would always wear a mask.
Yes.
And I would always question. So, and instead of myself, I had to find out why they're always wearing a mask.
This before the corona and all that nonsense.
Before the corona and all that, but there was always that question.
I do remember you used to always question that.
Yeah, so when I went to the to go and do my nails, I asked the girl that I thought I was kind of cool with. I asked her. I said, "Listen, can I ask you a question? Why is it that Chinese people, your people, actually do always wearing the mask?" And she looked at me in such a reaction that it made me so uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that she got offended.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, first of all, not every, all of us is Chinese.
You just assumed she was Chinese.
Yeah, all along. I thought that every person that works at the nail salon is Chinese.
Now, wouldn't that be a bigotry thing out your mouth?
Yeah, and I felt so bad. And I told her, oh, I'm sorry. I said, no, I'm from I think she said Korean.
See?
She's from Korean.
Uh-huh.
And I apologized to her, but I didn't realize that I was being offended.
Offensive.
Well, offensive.
And you were, but you didn't know it was innocent. And I'm sure you apologized afterwards to make things better. It was innocent.
Yeah.
But then you got other instances out there where people are blatantly prejudiced, bigotry things come out their mouth on purpose. They're straight racist. Like, for example, in this modern day now that we live in, all of these Karens. We all know the term Karen is anonymous with a racist white woman, right? Mm-hmm. Now, let me tell you where that word Karen originated. I'm going to give you two definitions of it, so you can understand where it comes from. The word Karen, first of all, it was just a common name that some random person got into a confrontation with an overzealous person that thought that stuff should be their way in whatever the case of, for whatever racist way or bigotry way, or just who you think you are type way, right? So whatever confrontation that person had with that white woman at the time, they just yelled out some random name that they thought was more of a Caucasian type of way, right? So they said, man, get out of here with your Karen butt. Turns out it was so hilarious and funny that video wound up going viral. So therefore, after that point, everybody started naming these racist, overzealous white women Karens. That's how that started. But to go even further behind that, these Karens, you go, what is an actual Karen? Well, let me explain to you. An actual Karen is these racist white women who try to weaponize the fact that they are white woman to get someone in trouble, hurt, and yes, even killed. That's where it really comes from. Now, let's go even further. AKA Emmett Till, the white lady, where she said, oh, he whistled at me. And they wound up killing this black boy, all based on what this white lady said, AKA Karen. Y'all up here trying to weaponize the fact that you a woman and a white woman, racist white woman, who you really ain't here but to do nothing but start trouble with your bigotry, racist ways. Remember, the word bigotry means stubborn, intolerance, opinion, and prejudice towards another group of people. Now, y'all remember the story of Emmett Till, all based on basically a Karen. You're based on some white woman didn't like what she's seen or heard, so she decided to weaponize the fact that she's a white woman to get somebody in trouble, hurt, and in that case, Emmett Till, killed.
Well, when it comes to Karen, it's not only females. There are also male.
Good
There are
point.
also men out there. They act just like
Yeah.
Karen.
Mm-hmm.
That they're starting just because they feel like they got some type of power or some type of because of their skin, the color of their skin.
Yeah, and Karens, it ain't always racist. It's just them being real stubborn and intolerant with their silly opinions. Remember the video we seen that was so hilarious? The guy was sitting in his truck at the place where he lived, and the old white lady came along and said, "You gotta move that truck. You gotta move it." And they
That's
went
my
back and
talking
forth,
about.
back and forth, back and forth. And in the end, he went to roll up his window, and the lady said, "You need to move it because I need that spot." And he said, "Your mother." And that was so funny. That's all he said was to the old lady, "Your mother," and rolled up the window. She was like, "How dare you?" That's how you deal with these Karens. Just embarrass them. You ain't got to get all loud and just embarrass them. I like this other one I seen where the guy, he was just insulting. I don't know if he's a comedian or not, but he was just saying all kind of cracks and jokes, just putting her down. She was like, "I can't believe that you." He said, "No, but you came over here starting with me with your goofy looking butt."
Exactly. And it's many different ways as racism.
Yes.
Like, for example, you're trying to compare a certain person how other people is not.
Yes.
Like, for example, like, remember when we used to live in East when we had a property in
I know what you
we
said.
were owners of a property, and that was my first time that someone ever made a statement like that.
This is the statement they said to my wife.
That was
my
so
wife,
funny.
My wife is Puerto Rican, right? So we send out stuff on the internet and stuff, apartment available for rent, right? And people would come check them out. And when they would come check the apartments out, me, my wife, or sometimes both of us, we'll interview the people, right? And one of the most common things my wife kept hearing people say to her, particularly when she's talking to them and they going back and forth. Next thing you know, Spanish people could be racist too, because I can't stand. Before I get into the point she's making, I can't stand when it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 Spanish people in the room at your job. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they all in the job talking about last night's game or the weather, right? And they're like, "Yeah, man, it's a nice weather, man. It's really nice out today, man. We went fishing over the weekend, man. Did you see the game last night?" But the moment the white guy walks in the room, the moment the black guy walks in the room, all of a sudden, them same Spanish guys who was clearly talking English, all of a sudden now they start going, "Mira que pasa, mucho mujeres, mucho comida," and it's like, wait, hold on, man, wait.
Yeah,
and I confronted a joker or two once in a while. I said, yo, Jose, because that's typical Spanish. I said, "Yo, Jose, why y'all be acting so racist with your stupid way? Yo, what are you talking about? What you talking about?" I said, "Yo, why y'all speaking Spanish as soon as I walk in the room?" No, that's not true. No, we just feel more comfortable talking like that amongst our own people. I said, "Yeah, but y'all was all talking English before I walked in the room because I heard you. But the moment I walked in, y'all all started to switch to strictly Spanish." Well, I understand some of that too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know what I'm talking about with that. But let's get to the original point, the initial point she was making. So anyway, I would interview the people for the apartment. Sometimes she would, or sometimes we both would. And in some cases, when she would be interviewing them, right, or us, next thing you know, they'll start talking their little Spanish amongst each other. I guess they assume you was white. And they talking their little Spanish, right? So then next thing you know, my wife would be like, "Espérate, ba 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 ba," and she started talking Spanish. And they would be like, "Oh, you're Spanish?" And my wife go, "Yeah, of course I'm Spanish." And then this is the most offensive bigotry things that come out of their mouth. They would go, "Oh my gosh, but you don't act Spanish."
Or talk.
Or you don't talk like a Spanish. You don't act like you're Spanish. And my wife was like, "Well, what do you mean? Act and talk like I'm Spanish? What do you mean? I'm speaking clear Spanish."
No. At first, I found it very comical.
Yeah, but then you heard it again.
Then I heard it again. It made me sit back and think, like, what is that? What people look at different people.
They stereotype.
It's stereotyping, and I'm saying to myself, now I have a problem with that, because it's like, are you looking at all Puerto Ricans or all Spanish? Let's just say all Spanish.
Yes, they were.
Are loud and.
And that's what I said to my wife, because she said to me, "What do they mean talking about? I don't act or talk like I'm Spanish. I'm speaking Spanish." So I said to my wife jokingly, I said, "Oh, well, let me explain that to you. You're not wearing the hoochie mama shorts all the way up inside you. You're not wearing tattoos of Puerto Rico all tattooed all up on you. You're not wearing the big gold loop earrings. You're not acting all loud and yelling and cussing. You're not walking around with with a sombrero, whatever the case, right? All ignorant, silly stuff that's not actual factual. But this is how people with their opinions of prejudice opinions, that bigotry things come out of their mouth. Because that was a racist statement. How you gonna act like all Spanish people act a certain way that you think they act? That's prejudice. That's racist. That's a bigotry thing.
Yes, it all comes in size and colors. But the thing is that the way I was acting is just being professional. Why would I be in a place where even if I'm looking for a job, why would I act all like
Cardi
I just
B.
don't care? Yeah, and don't care, and then people just try to point fingers at me because the way I'm acting.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't fall
like
into
you're
that.
so professional. You talk with intelligence. You talk with maturity. That's not a Puerto Rican. That is ignorant.
It is.
That
It
is very ignorant.
And that, some people easily get offended by certain things, and some people they just laugh it off. But when you constantly doing you hearing the same thing over, now you sit back and think like, wait a minute, that's not how the world is looking at you.
Exactly. Another thing I can't stand, let's say with a racist person, is when they act like, they really think they're smarter than you, or don't want to listen to a doggone thing you say because you're from a different ethnic background. Now, those are the type of people, you just let them talk. Because a lot of times they put their foot in their mouth. You'll catch them in lie after lie, or you'll see their foolishness. Especially when they act like they know everything. Then every now and then, just let them talk. They put their foot in their mouth, I assure you. Because now when they got an answer to what they think they know everything about, or certain, you just say, no, I'll let you answer that. And then you see how foolish they are. Because in a lot of times, if we had to be on the board where we had to show our actual intellectual knowledge, you'll see who's really the fool. Based on actual intellect opposed to their opinion. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, was raised to be racist. You know what I can't stand? When you see a little, what I love, but then I can't stand. When you see an innocent little kid playing amongst a bunch of other kids, they're kids, they're innocent. But you'll see the parent. No, I don't want my kid playing with them kids.
Well, there was a video like
Thank
that.
you. You took it right out of me?
Yeah, there was a video that.
It shows two little kids in the daycare, and a little black girl's over here crawling, and a little white boy was crawling. Then he kind of stood up, and as they started to go towards each other, the white father grabbed his white kid, picked him up, and like, nope, I don't want you over there with them. See, y'all starting. These kids are innocent, and y'all already plotting and brainwashing them with racist bullcrap. I know you love the one with the little black boy and the little white boy. They was best friends, and I love that one. They was about the same age, and they was best friends. They showed them on the street when the parents met up with each other. And them two grabbed each other like, that's my best friend.
And they were running together.
They loved each other.
Yes.
And even the little white boy, they showed him getting a haircut. And he said, man, I'm getting my haircut just like my friend. The teacher's not even going to recognize us because we look just alike. See, they innocent. And hopefully them parents keep them pure and genuine, that they grow to be great kids. But in most cases, not all, but in most, in a lot of cases, when it comes to kids like that, it be the white parents start putting negative stuff into their kids' head. You're smarter than them. You're better than them. You're this and that. Remember the video we did with Samuel Jackson and Anthony Mackie? We did a video on that about how the real people that they played in that movie, I forgot the video we did, but how they owned all these properties. These real black families. The banker. Just check out our video. It's called The Banker Movie Review. Yeah. But the real people that did that, remember the part in the movie where the white guy that was their friend, everything was all good. It was his white wife who started saying bigotry stuff like, but wait a minute, this can't be hard to do. And he told her, he said, nah, but those guys are really smart, man. And she said, yeah, but they can't be smarter than you. It's impossible. And he said, whoa, because he wasn't a racist. And that's the first time he realized, as much as I love my wife's a racist. And he said, what? Don't say nothing. Don't do that. He told his white wife, he said, don't ever talk like that. That's very ugly. Don't do that.
She left him in. Well, this was a true story.
She left him, but it was good for him.
Yeah.
Because she was
She
the
did
bad
him-
seed.
She did him a favor.
She did him a favor, yes.
Yeah.
So, hey, we could keep going on because there's so many stories of racism. So, like the title of the video, stop being a racist. And just think. So, in closing, what I would say, just think. Well, I'll let you go first. You got something you want to say in closing?
Yeah, I was gonna say when you were talking about the parents of these kids, it's not only the parents, it's the society.
Yeah.
The society, the world has changed and it's gotten worse and worse. And we have to keep people that has their head on their shoulder. They
Stand
need to
up for the
realize-
other ones.
Yes, stand up for the other one and make them open up their eyes and realize we already went through hell with a racism situation.
Yeah.
Back centuries and whatever. So the thing is that we got to keep up something positive.
Yes.
Be able to help each other, lift each other, not bring us down and look at each other like, oh, you better than me. No, I'm not gonna deal with you because
Yeah.
you ain't just like
'Cause you
me.
never know what somebody's
no, you
going
never,
through.
Exactly. So that's my point of what I'm saying.
What I would say in closing is just think. Remember, like your mother, your grandmother, your grandfather, whoever, they taught you, your father taught you. Think before you open your mouth. Remember, as we're getting older, we're getting more mature.
More
Think
wiser.
before you, more wiser.
More wiser.
Think before you open your mouth. And don't, instead of saying something bigotry out your mouth. Because when you think before you speak so quickly, more intelligent, mature things will come out of your mouth. Prime example, the story that she said about the Asian lady, right? She said something that was bigotry, but it was innocent. She didn't think she said anything harm, but you offended the lady. Now you say you don't think there was anything harm, but let's take you. What if somebody kept calling you everything except for your name every time they see you? You start to get bothered. Like, yo, my name is not Mary. Next time they see you, what's up, Janet? You be like, look, my name is not. Why you keep calling me different names? Eventually you'll get offended. But, like I said, in closing, what I would say to anybody, think before you open your mouth and say something foolish. That way, more mature, responsible things will come out of your mouth. And on the case with you, when you said that to the Asian lady, the way you fix that, once again, think before you talk. You just simply say to that woman, you ridicule yourself, because as much as she want to ridicule you, she's probably being professional to keep her job or whatever the case.
Right.
But you do it to yourself. That will make her feel at ease. Such as you could have said something like, I don't know if you did or you didn't, but you say something like this, with the apology that you said to her, right? You go, no, I am truly sorry. I didn't realize how offensive that I had said that. I feel like a total fool for saying something that was so offensive. I spoke before I thought, and I feel like an idiot right now. See, that's you ridiculing yourself. But this is what the lady want to say to you, but you beat it to it, and it makes her feel great. Gratitude that you acknowledge the naivety that you were saying. Remember, naive, the ignorance that you were saying. Remember, ignorance means you don't know. It don't mean stupid. We all grew up thinking it means stupid. We use it like the word stupid. So yeah, if you just simply said that to her, I really apologize. Or anyone out there, if you've done the same thing, I really apologize, and I want to really acknowledge how I feel like a fool for saying what I said and really not knowing what I'm saying before I open my mouth. I truly apologize, and please forgive me. She'll be grateful, because it's like, you said what I wanted. You said about yourself what I wanted to say to you.
Yeah, a person will give you a lot of respect because you actually realize, you make that person that you're realizing that you was wrong by doing that.
There you go.
Were offensive by doing that. And once again, I love when I have mature people around me, and I have my husband to teach me and be positive and be able to say what I have to say the right way with people.
Now, the reason she say that, we're going to end this, but the reason she say that, because our daughters had made the same mistake many years ago, too, when they was just kids. And they was classing every Asian person as Chinese this, Chinese that. And I had to tell them, I said, look, if you don't know if they Chinese, Japanese, North Korean, South Korean, Thailand, if you don't know which one it is, just say Asian. That covers it all.
Exactly.
Just say, you're Asian descent, right? That covers it all. Then they could tell you specifically what Asian descent they are. It's like you got DNA, then you got RNA. RNA is more directly, see, DNA would say, it's a human race, you're a woman race, you're a man race, you're from this family. But your RNA identifies you specifically. No. I'll let y'all go. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. Peace.